Good morning, it's Heather with Murray's Home for Wayward Chickens, and this is just a quick friendly reminder that springtime is here and it is time to deworm your chickens. So it's usually something that's done twice a year, but at least once a year or at any time when you see your chickens become lethargic, if they're eating a lot but not gaining weight and potentially losing weight, if they're separated from the flock, they're not feeling well, sometimes that's also an indication that they have worms. So once a year, especially in springtime, it's a good idea to deworm your chickens. It's normal for them to have a certain level of worm load, but when it gets to be too much, you're feeding the worms and not your chickens. So ivermectin is a great dewormer. That's like a cure-all. It's used for so many different ailments. We use valbazen. Valbazen, V-A-L-B-A-Z-E-N. It's a replacement for what Wazine was. It's no longer FDA approved, but valbazen is a great dewormer. The problem is, if you don't use a natural remedy, which does not cure worms, natural remedies can only be used, in my opinion, they can only be used as a preventative. They will help to prevent. There are really no natural cures for worms. You've got to use something that's going to pound it out and pound it out quick. So once you use one, you probably get like maybe 2 or 3 years out of it. You'll get like 4 to 6 uses before there's a potential that the worms of the chickens, they become immune to it and you have to swap it out for a different one. So we probably have another year left with valbazen before maybe we have to switch to a different dewormer. You'll notice after you give them the dose that approximately 2 days later, if they have a worm load, that's when you start to see them in the poop. Roundworm, tapeworm, gapeworm. Tapeworm is gonna look like rice because they are grown in segments and they break off. So you look like little pieces of rice. Not to be confused with cuticle that will sometimes fall off their feathers when they're molting and they grow new feathers. Cuticle looks a little bit like it, but you see like a piece of, like a grain of rice, a bunch of grains of rice mixed in their poop, that's tapeworm. If their poop comes out and it looks like it has angel hair pasta in it, that's roundworm. Roundworm is very common. Gapeworm is the one that you see in the throat. That's where they're gaping for air. That can be gapeworm. That one's not as common. But also it's a great time to make sure that you check your entire flock over very thoroughly for lice and mites, because those little suckers have been dormant all winter, and when the warm weather comes, they wake up. They're not dead, they're just dormant. So check for mites. You'll see like a dusty looking fluff butt. If their fluffy butt looks very dusty, there's a good chance it's like grayish. If you separate their feathers and look around the vent area, that's normally where you're gonna see mites. I've seen them on the head and around the eyes and on the neck too. But lice is usually on the undercarriage by the butt, underneath the belly, and those look like fuzzy little eggs when they have their nits. They're like a pussy willow, but smaller. You wanna make sure that you eradicate that quickly, because once one of them has it, chances are it's gonna spread to your entire flock. So springtime is here. Please deworm your chickens and check for lice and mites. Questions or comments, please feel free to leave them. If you wanna hit like or subscribe, we would love that. Thanks guys, have a great day.